Hello and welcome back to the Shiny Discussion series, where we go through all shinies of each generation and fix the ones that are bad. Today we're doing Generation 2. If you missed the first part where we go through the original 151, check that video out, it's linked in the description and in the iCard on the top right corner of the video. With that said though, let's dive into Generation 2. Chikorita. In Gen 2, originally Chikorita only changed the color of its leaf and the accents around its neck from green to brown, with the body being yellow in both forms. Gen 3 made normal Chikorita change its body color to light green, with the leaf staying dark green, while the shiny had bright yellow skin with a brighter brown on the leaf than before. That basically stayed up until today. Good shiny. Bayleef. Much like Chikorita, Gen 2 started out with only the leaf changing color, from green to brown. The skin stayed a light beige. Gen 3 made the normal form have yellow skin and kept the beige for the shiny, making the leaves of the shiny a brownish green. As of Gen 4, the leaves of the shiny are just a more faded, more yellow green than the normal forms. Honestly, I'd like some consistency there, as normal Chikorita changes from green to yellow when evolving. Shiny Chikorita should go from yellow to green. Also, the leaves of Bayleef should stay a darker brown. Meganium. The skin color of the normal form has always been green. The Gen 2 shiny turns it golden, without changing the flower at all. As of Gen 3, the skin goes more yellow, with the flower turning a washed out orange instead of the magenta color of the normal form. They both got washed out a bit in Gen 6, like basically every color on every model, but in general not bad. I'd just like the flower to change more noticeably, to blue for instance. Cyndaquil. It started out with a black back and red and yellow flames, with the shiny originally turning a dark purple, with the flames going purple and dark orange. This design was absolutely awesome, but unfortunately Gen 3 changed the normal form to have a dark blue back. That turns light brown for the shiny. The flames now don't change color anymore. As of Gen 5, the flames are not even visible outside of using an attack anymore, which is a shame. The current shiny isn't bad, but I'd like the flames to be always on again and would have loved the purple flames to stay. However, that's not really a thing that I can edit onto a model. Quilava. It literally went through the same iterations as its pre-evolution, and I still miss the always-on flames. Typhlosion. One thing you can say about this line is that it's inconsistent. Again, the same basic changes between old and new, just that in between we had a mix of old and new with a purple Typhlosion with normal colored fire. But again, the newest version is unfortunately missing its fire unless it attacks. I'll never like this design decision. Totodile. Normally we have a blue crocodile with red spikes. That went to mint green with purple spikes for the shiny in Gen 2. That looked really good, honestly. Gen 3 changed it to a light teal with the spikes becoming blue, which stayed all the way up until today. Still looks great, and I definitely wouldn't want to change it. Croconaw. Here's where I'm glad they changed it. Originally Croconaw had bluish green skin and red spikes. The shiny went to a muddy ass green with purple spikes. Gross. Crystal fixed the normal color to be blue with red spikes, but left the shiny unchanged. As of Gen 3, the shiny is also teal with blue spikes, like you'd expect looking at Totodile's colors. Feraligatr. Same deal as Croconaw, and again, I'm glad they changed it over time. Centrant. Centrant's fur goes from brown with dark brown stripes in the tail to a light gold with purple stripes in Gen 2. Gen 3 made the normal color have the same fur as the Gen 2 shiny, but with brown stripes, while the shiny just changed the stripes to purple, which was a horrible choice of design. Gen 4 additionally made the shiny have very faint beige fur with brown stripes, before Heart Gold and Soul Silver fixed the normal coloring to be brown with dark brown stripes again. Today's coloring makes both versions look good and distinguishable. Furret. It has light, almost blonde fur with brown stripes. The shiny in Gen 2 made it turn horrendously pink. Gen 3 made the shiny look the way it does today, with the light colors becoming a faint pink and the brown stripes becoming a reddish dark purple. I'd honestly have liked them to also fade out the reddish purples in Furret, like they did with Centrant, and make it look more like this, almost white with blonde stripes. Hoothoot. Usually a brown owl, it turns golden in its shiny form. Additionally, in Gen 2, the mask on the face turned purple. While since Gen 3 the mask is black on both versions and the eyes turned red, I'd have liked the mask to also stay purple on the shiny. Noctowl. The light brown parts become golden while the dark brown wings get a nice red color. This shiny is pretty well known as Ash had one in the anime, and it looks nice, so it's fine as it is. Ladybug. This ladybug is red normally, and in Gen 2 the shiny is an almost yellow-orange. As of Gen 3 it is completely orange instead. I would have liked it to get fully yellow, as that would make it look a lot more different than the hardly changing colors we have now. Ledian. Basically same story. Gen 2 and 3 had a yellowish orange, and after that it was plain faded orange. The same colors as the pre-evolution, so I'd go with the same yellow for the improved shiny version. Spinarak. Spinarak started out as a dark blue spider with a bright purple shiny. Crystal changed the normal colors to the green we know today. As of Gen 3, the shiny changes to a light bluish purple. This looks neat and I like it that way. Ariados. The normal form is red with blue highlights. The shiny in Gen 2 was purple with the same blue highlights. In Gen 3 it became a faded pinkish purple with cyan accents. As of Gen 4 it's a bright screaming pink with light teal highlights. It's honestly one of the ugliest shinies in the game, and in general the amount of pink shinies is too damn high, so let's make it a bright turquoise with green highlights instead. Crobat. Normally it's colored inverse to the rest of Zubat's evolution line. The shiny in Gen 2 becomes horrendously pink with green wings. Gen 3 fades the pink out and brightens the green. It looks like bubblegum stuck to the sidewalk that started getting moldy. I'd make it invert the colors back to normal Zubat colors to have the Crobat colored shinies of Zubat and Golbat from the last video invert again for Crobat's shiny. Chinchou. Chinchou started out as a dark blue blob with dark yellow fins, eyes and antennae. The shiny was originally bluish gray with bright green instead of yellow. Gen 3 made the normal colors lighter, with the shiny becoming a bright light blue and the green becoming more neon colored. Gen 4 and 5 made the shiny darker than before, and as of Gen 6 they completely ruined it, making the blue hardly change and the yellow of the accents almost identical for both forms. I'd like the brighter blue back, with the yellow having the distinct green color from Gen 2 and 3. Lantern. The normal form has the same colors as Chinchou, but the shiny goes to a purple with muddy green highlights in Gen 2. Gen 3 made it pink with the yellow of the highlights hardly changing. Gen 4 and 5 had it go purple again, and Gen 6 changed it to hardly changing the blue of the normal form and identical yellows. Horrible. I'd bring that in line with my design for Chinchou. Pichu. Basically, Pichu's shiny is the same as Pikachu's, and with that, I'd give it the same change that I did for Pikachu in the last video, blue cheeks. Cleffa. Like its evolutions, the only thing about this pink blob that changes is the ears going from brown to green. I guess since it's in line with the rest of the line, and I didn't change those either last video, it can stay that way. Igglybuff. Jigglypuff's pre-evo is basically a smaller Jigglypuff, and in Gen 2 the eyes turned green for the shiny, like with the rest of the line. Somehow its ass also did. As of Gen 3 though, it started changing less and less until today it looks basically identical in normal and shiny. I'd go ahead and bring that in line with my edits for Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff from the last video and make it purple. Togepi. The markings on the eggshell go from being red and blue in the normal form to blue and red in the shiny. Yeah, it literally only switches which ones have which color. I'd rather see them go magenta and cyan instead. Togetic. The eggshell becomes part of its body, so the colors are identical to the pre-evo. Crystal had a bit of a weird coloring on the normal version, but other than that, the rest of the gens kept it consistently, just switching the red and blue patterns around for the shiny. Obviously magenta and cyan is also the choice I made here. Natu. We started out with a green little ball of a bird with red accents that turned very light pale green with golden accents in the shiny version in Gen 2. Gen 3 gave it extra details and turned the shiny accents back to red, just a paler red than the original. As of Gen 4, the change between normal and shiny is hardly even noticeable, which is sad since they had a good shiny in Gen 2. Bringing that design back would be a really great thing. Xatu. Xatu somehow was hardly different from its normal form even back in Gen 2. It basically just loses a bit of color. I'd bring that in line with the Natu from before. Mareep. The wool of the normal form is yellow and becomes pink for the shiny. I'm honestly no fan of pink, so turning that less bright and more purplish makes it more appealing to me. Also, the yellow accents on the horns should also change. Fluffy. Mareep's evolution becomes pink for some reason. The shiny in Gen 2 just became a more saturated neon pink. As of Gen 3, the normal form has a blue tail tip, which turns green in the shiny, while the rest of the colors stay unchanged. This is honestly not a very good shiny and also not in line with the normal form drastically changing color through evolution. The green tail tip is fine, but the pink skin color could also turn a nice yellow instead. Ampharos. Normally the final evolution of this line lost all its wool, doesn't look like a sheep anymore at all, and is bright yellow with a red tail tip and forehead. The shiny in Gen 2 became a weird pale purple with a deep purple tail tip. As of Gen 3, the shiny is pink with a blue tail tip and forehead. Again, all shiny forms being pink for this makes no sense from a design standpoint, so let's change this to a nice blue with the tail tip and forehead becoming yellow. Blossom. For once, some changing through the gens again. We started with the normal form being green with pink flowers and leaves, and the shiny being purple and red instead, respectively. Crystal made the normal sprite change the flowers and leaves to the same color as the shiny. As of Gen 3, the normal form is green with red flowers and green and yellow leaves, while the shiny is purple with the leaves staying the same and the flowers turning pink. This ends up looking fine and different enough to be distinguishable. Marill. Marill is usually blue with the shiny turning a greenish teal color. This looks incredibly good, actually, so no need to change it at all. Azumarill. Marill's evolution is also blue, but for some reason the shiny in Gen 2 is golden. The later gens never changed that much. And it's still a bright yellow in its shiny form. Now, that color by itself doesn't look bad, and it certainly changes enough to look different, but I'm a fan of having consistency within evolutionary lines. As in, if the color stays between two evos normally, then it should also stay for the shiny. Therefore, I like the greenish teal from Marill's shiny on Azumarill as well. Sudowoodo. The fake tree that's actually a rock is brown and green normally, unsurprisingly. The shiny has a lighter brown and red instead of green, This kind of gives it an autumn look, and that is honestly really good design. Politoed, a green frog that evolves from a blue tadpole. The Gen 2 shiny made it look like somebody vomited on it. But nicely enough, Gen 3 changed that, making the by then green and yellow frog a blue and pink frog for the shiny. This design stayed all the way till today. Now I have no idea where they took the pink from, so I'd make that white instead, and I'd like the blue to be a bit darker. All in all, that is a pretty consistent shiny though. Hoppip. Originally a red blob with green leaves that turned into a mud-colored blob with green leaves for the shiny in Gen 2, it became a lighter red in Gen 3 with the shiny changing the blob to the same green as the leaves. Gen 4 made the normal color more of a dark red again before Gen 5 fucked it up and made the base form pink. The shiny stayed the same though, and we still have that design today. For once, I'd actually like to change the base form back to the red it once had. The shiny, however, is a pretty good change, and it looks way better than the pink normal form anyway. Skiploom. Here we basically have the inverse color scheme once we're past the weirdly purple shiny of Gen 2. Green is the normal form and pink is the shiny. The flower stays yellow on both. This is exactly the kind of consistent coloring I like to see with everything. Jumpluff. Unfortunately, consistency went out the window for the final evolution. The blob turns blue for the normal form with white cotton balls. The shiny, however, stays pink and also changes the cotton color. I have multiple things against this design. 1. Fuck making every goddamn blue Pokemon pink for the shiny. 2. The leaves and the flower didn't change color between normal and shiny, so why the fuck do the cotton balls change? And finally, if the blob changes to a completely different color for the normal form, then change it to something different on the shiny as well. Now, the other two basically have complementary colors for their shinies, as green and pink are complementary. So why not make Jumpluff's shiny orange with the same color cotton balls as the normal form? Aipom. Purple monkey turns, oh my god, can we stop making every shiny pink? For fuck's sake, Game Freak, do you not have any other colors on your goddamn palette? Let's go back to something I said in the first video with this. There are not enough red shinies. A red Aipom would look pretty damn good. Sunkern. We start with a green steed with green lines and green leaves. The shiny in Gen 2 was yellow with the same green stripes and leaves. Crystal basically changed the normal color to look exactly like the shiny, and as of Gen 3, we have a yellow seed with dark brown stripes that turns to a darker yellow for the shiny. This is garbage, but I'm sure you saw that already without me telling you. I'd like the shiny to be a callback to the original gold and silver design, making it green with darker green stripes. Sunflora. Normally it has a green body and yellow petals. The shiny gets a muddy green body with brighter yellow petals. This shiny looks like somebody took a sunflower and put it into a dark cold cellar for a month. My design, while still being subtle, would look a lot better, making the green go darker and the petals go orange. Yanma. This dragonfly is normally red and goes blue for the shiny. Blue shinies are awesome, and with the color changing that obviously between the two forms, this is an absolutely great shiny and definitely one of my personal favorites. Wooper. Is there any goddamn blue Pokemon that doesn't go pink for their shiny? This is ridiculous and looks awful. A nice dark wine red would be a much nicer to look at shiny. Quagsire. Same goddamn pink shiny as its pre-evolution. Again, please make more red shinies. Espeon. There's literally only 2 evolutions with good shinies, and Espeon is not one of them. The normally lavender colored Pokemon goes to a blindingly bright glow-in-the-dark neon green for the shiny. It just looks absolutely gross. A nice teal would make it much easier on the ice. Umbreon. Speaking about the 2 evolutions that have good shinies, here is the first one. Umbreon is usually black with yellow rings and goes to black with blue rings for the shiny. This looks absolutely amazing. Murkrow. A black crow with a witch hat. The shiny in Gen 2 was tinted purple a bit. As of Gen 3, the normal form is more bluish and the shiny, you guessed it, fucking pink. You know, as much as you hear people complain about too many green shinies, did those people have a look at how many are the same eye-watering pink? And would it be so hard to make this an off-white color instead? Slowking. Okay, so the standard Johtonian Slowking is basically just a Slowpoke with the shelter on its head instead of its tail like Slowbro has it. The shiny is a slightly different pink and a blue and white color instead of a red and white one. I'd obviously want this to be in line with the other shinies of the line and make the skin of the shiny purple and the shell brownish. The blue on the collar is good though. As for Galarian Slowking, as of the making of this video we only have this censored image of it. A quick Google search brings up a few speculations about the actual design, and this one is my personal favorite. Unfortunately, I can't seem to find who the artist on this is, as it's been copied and pasted around the internet a lot. Sorry about that. Either way, if this was what we're actually getting, I'd like the shiny to be kinda in line with the other two of the Galarian Slowpoke line. As we know, Galarian Slowpoke's shiny is golden, Galarian Slowbro didn't end up exactly in line like I had predicted, but it went to a very faint gold that almost skin colored, with the accents not changing and only the shell going to the predicted brown. So I'd say a little bit of a darker gold skin with the brown shell and the cape going from a dark purple to a blood red would look really good. We'll again see how close this is to the real one when the Crown Tundra DLC releases in November. Misdreavus. Originally it was purple with pink highlights, with the shiny being brownish green with golden highlights. Gen 3 made the base form more teal with a lighter pink in the highlights and the shiny also overall lighter. Gen 4 went back to a darker greenish blue color and purple highlights, with the shiny being a bright green with golden highlights. That stayed until Gen 6, where the colors were washed out a bit, with the greenish blue of the base form being lighter and the purple being more lavender colored. The shiny went to a muddy green with brown highlights. I wish they had kept the more vibrant green and golden highlights. Unown. Originally the floating alphabet had a greenish tint to it that only changed to a pure black and crystal. The shiny always has been tinted blue, and that is fine as it is. Wobbuffet. The light blue punching bag originally had a purple shiny in Gen 2, which looked okay, but as of Gen 3, it got the same fucking pink that every other blue Pokemon gets. This looks horrible, and a nice orange would make it look a lot better. Girafarig. The Pokemon interpretation of CatDog is yellow and black in its normal form. The shiny used to get a blue tint on the black parts. As of Gen 3, the spikes on the back and the nose get a reddish tint in the normal form, and those are the parts that get blue for the shiny from here on out. This looks great, and I would not change anything. Pineco. Originally Pineco was grey with crystal changing the color to a bluish tint. The shiny has a golden color, which looks absolutely great, and all throughout the generations this has not changed, and it still looks great. Forretress. Apart from the back sprite in Gen 2 being laughable, the normal version has a red core and a purple shell. This is a pretty harsh color change from the blue of Pineco. Now, for some reason the shiny keeps the color of Pineco's shiny all over it. It doesn't even have different colors between the core and shell. So yeah, that shiny absolutely is disappointing. So let's fix that with a blue core and a black shell. Dunsparce. Yellow and blue in the normal version, and of course, the shiny turns the blue into pink. The yellow stays the same. Apart from the blue to pink shift being so overused that I want to vomit, the colors clash with each other so hard on the shiny, it's just horrible. A way better shiny would be changing the yellow to a green and the blue not to pink, but to red. I've said before, there aren't enough red shinies. Gligar. The base form in Gen 2 is a reddish purple, with the shiny being grey. Gen 3 made the base form light purple and the shiny pale blue. Hardly different. Diamond and Pearl made the normal form darker purple and kept the light blue shiny. And Heart Gold and Soul Silver went back to the Gen 2 design on the normal version, making it a reddish purple again. And the shiny stayed blue, which makes it very distinct and good looking. This stays true all the way till today. Makes it even more confusing why they never fixed stuff on other obviously bad coloring choices. Steelix. This one is gonna be a fast one again. We have a steel colored steel snake that becomes golden in its shiny color. Great shiny, nothing to change here. Snubbull. Originally we have a pink normal form that becomes blue in the shiny. Amazing, they actually did the opposite of the blue to pink shift here. In Gen 3, the shiny suddenly became grey. Gen 4 made it go back to a bluish color, and we still have that shiny today. I don't like the colors on it much, but it sure is easy to see that it's a shiny. We can leave it like that. Granbull. Snubbull's evolution is purple, with Gen 2 making the shiny muddy green, and Gen 3 changing it to skin color. That color makes it look like a naked dude, so it's nowhere near in line with the pre-Evo's shiny. If Snubbull normally goes from pink to purple, then the shiny should also go from pale blue to a more vibrant blue. If there was ever a point in having a subtle shiny, this would be it. Qwilfish. Qwilfish is normally blue, so obviously the official shiny is fucking pink. And I want to literally make that color illegal by now. For once, green would actually look better on this shiny. Scizor. The awesome red of the normal form became a weird off greenish yellow in early games and ended up moving to a more sickly green color later. You know, if there was ever a shiny that could be fixed with an extremely subtle change, it's this. Make it Scyther green instead. That would make them switch colors for the shiny, at least in my designs. Shuckle. Normally the shell is red. In Gen 2 the shiny had a purple shell, which looked good. As of Gen 3 the shiny has a blue shell, which still looks good, so no need to change that. Heracross. Weirdly enough, this was less eye-watering in the original Gen 2 shiny, which went from the normal blue to a deep purple. As of Gen 3 though, it's fucking pink. Black would fit this so much better, making it look like an actual Hercules beetle. Sneasel. So this is a weird one, as the original sprite was colored brown with teal accents, and changed to a purple with pink accents in Crystal, and stayed like that afterwards. The shiny, however, always was a gross combo of pink and yellow. When they changed the original colors, they also should have changed the shiny to be the brown and teal of the normal gold and silver sprite. That would look great compared to the color clashing garbage we have now. Teddiursa. A brown bear cub that turns an irradiated green in the shiny form. As much as people seem to not like green bears, I find this color so absurd that it kind of works for a shiny in my opinion. Ursaring. The evolution similarly turns from a brown to an irradiated green for the shiny. At least it's consistent, and as I said, I personally like that completely absurd color scheme. Slugma. Slugma is unsurprisingly magma red in its normal form, and grey in the shiny form. Now that is absolutely great. It looks like the molten rock it's made of solidified on the surface. I like the design a lot. Magcargo. The evolved form has a slightly darker red and developed a rock-colored shell. The shiny in Gen 2 was blue, which isn't really in line with the pre-Evo, but at least it looked good. Then, for whatever reason, the Gen 3 made it go to frickin' pink again. And it's not even a blue Pokemon to begin with. I'd be for this design. This would make the shiny also go a bit darker in color. Also, it would really look a lot like volcanic basalt rock, like this. Swinub. Okay, this one is interesting. The normal form has always been brown, but the shiny used to be blue in Gen 2. Then it went gray in Gen 3, and finally we got a muddy green color in Gen 4 and onwards. I have no fucking clue why they would take two pretty good, unique, shiny colors and change that to the overly abundant, muddy green garbage color everyone hates. They could have easily kept the original blue. Piloswine. So the brown of the fur goes slightly lighter, and for some reason that makes the shiny switch to blonde. Who poured hydrogen peroxide over this Pokemon? Either way, slightly lighter icy blue would make this a lot more in line with my earlier design than this is with the real design of the pre-Evo. Corsola. Oh hey, we have the opposite of the usual thing here. Geotonian Corsola is normally pink and turns blue for the shiny. This is actually good looking, cause neither of the two are eye-watering neon shades of the colors. Galarian Corsola is a dead coral, therefore a ghost type, and colored a ghostly white. The shiny gets a bit darker core, but honestly, it should have been even darker, almost black, cause you hardly see a difference normally. Remoraid. Originally it had a dark blue color with the shiny going black. That actually looked great. For some reason though, Gen 3 changed it to a very pale blue, and obviously the shiny went fucking pink. Honestly, if that is the rough direction of color you want, purple would make it look a lot less stupid. Octillery. The octopus that for some bloody reason evolves from that fish is normally orange and turns yellow for the shiny. That can stay that way, it changes color drastically between Evos and is distinguishable from the normal form, while not hurting your eyes to look at. Delibird. Pink! Sorry, but why the fuck does this turn neon pink? It's not even blue originally. Also, they gave away the perfect opportunity on this one. The normal form is red to look a bit like Santa Claus. What would be another Christmassy color you could go for? Green. Mantine. So, I mean, at least it's not pink. The original color is a dull dark blue, and the shiny is a brighter, more vibrant blue. Normally I'm not a fan of hardly changing the color, but this looks different enough to see that it's shiny, and it's a way cooler blue than the original ones. This can stay. Skarmory. A steel-colored steel bird. The shiny in Gen 2 was entirely green, which looked awful. Later on, the normal version got red accents in the wings, and as of Gen 3, the shiny was bronze colored with green highlights. This looks awesome, and I couldn't think of a better shiny. Houndour. Gen 2 didn't have much of a difference in the sprites, seeing as black with a colored aura of sorts is all that technology would give for this. As of Gen 3, the normal form is black and the shiny is blue. This looks great. Houndoom. Same thing, but bigger dog. Kingdra. Now, you can see my inspiration for the edits of the rest of this line in the last video came from this one originally. The shiny originally was dark purple, then went pink for a while, and more recently went back to more purple. I'd like it to be in line with the rest of my edits though, with an actually dark purple. Phanpy. So the original Gen 2 shiny turned the normal blue into grey, which looked good. Unfortunately, as of Gen 3, it hardly changes between forms. I'd personally like the shiny to be purple, with the red accents changing to green. Donphan. The normal form is grey, the shiny gets an orangish brown color, looks good, and I don't see a need to change that. Porygon 2. This one is totally in line with Porygon's shiny, so no need to change anything here either. Stantler. This deer is neon green in its shiny form. This hurts my eyes. I've said it before, there aren't enough red shinies, so this is my take on what would look at least less eye-watering. Smeargle. This one is weird. Cause we started with the normal form being beige with a red tail tip, and the shiny being lighter beige with a green tail tip. And as of Gen 3, the two designs got flipped, for whatever reason. No idea why, but either way, they're easily distinguishable, so it's fine. Tyrogue. The normal form is a light purple with reddish legs, with the shiny going gray with blue legs. This looks good and can stay that way. Hitmontop. Here the base color is a brown with blue accents, and the shiny originally turned gray with purple accents. For some reason they had to make the blue go to pink again as of Gen 3. What was wrong with the purple? Smoochum. There's really hardly a difference between the normal and shiny form here, so I'd honestly like it better if it at least had the same hydrogen peroxide bleached hair that Jinx's shiny has. Elekid. Now Elekid literally doesn't change between forms. I'd obviously bring it in line with my edit of its evolution from last video and turn it blue. Magby. You'd think they'd just copy-paste the color of Magma's shiny, but no, they make it go orange and yellow for some reason. Obviously the color of shiny Magma would make more sense. Miltank. The base form has always been pink, but the shiny started out in a kind of violet color, making it look a little bit like a certain chocolate mascot. Gen 3 made it go white, which looked like it was a freaking ghost cow. And as of Gen 4, the shiny has been blue. Obviously this can stay. Blissey. I have no idea why they would copy the normal colors but not the shiny colors from Chansey. This obviously shouldn't be hardly changing, but green, like Chansey. Raikou. The shiny actually mostly kept its color scheme, but the normal form got a change in color for the main from yellow to purple in Crystal. Anyway, the shiny looks great, so no reason to change it. Entei. Subtle shiny on this one, but it's still easily identifiable as shiny and looks good, so that's that. Suicune. The Gen 2 shiny turned straight up gray, which looked really cool, but I also like the newer shiny that is a brighter blue than the normal form with a dark blue mane instead of the purple of the normal form. Larvitar. So Larvitar doesn't change much for its shiny form, and honestly, with Tyranitar basically having the same skin color, the shiny should also be the same color, just with different accents like the normal forms. Pupitar. I'm tired of looking at blue going to pink and changing that. Luckily it is more purple in recent games. Tyranitar. I just made Larvitar fall in line with this one, so no way I'm changing anything here. Lugia. So, blue accents for the normal and dark red for the shiny. That's cool. Oh, for fuck's sake, Game Freak, can you keep your stupid pink text marker off the shiny for 1 fucking second? Let's pretend that stayed red. Ho-Oh. The red and green of the normal color scheme go to a very nice golden color in the shiny, and that looks awesome and can stay that way. Celebi. For the finale of the Johto Pokemon, we have the green grass and psychic type, fairy-like creature that turns pink for the shiny. Now, for this one the pink actually fits and doesn't burn holes into my eyes, so that's a fine shiny. And with that, we're done with Generation 2. If you haven't yet, check out the Generation 1 video and subscribe and ring the bell to make sure you don't miss future uploads. Also, check out the other content, both Pokemon and non-Pokemon related, that I have done. My name is WW Dadman, and I will see you in the next video.